Hi everyone, it's Maria. Welcome to my channel. It's really exciting to have so many new faces around. So if you are new, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, just trying to enjoy my reading, enjoy my life. It's been kind of crazy lately. But yeah, I had a great time with Nonfiction November. It was a good way to meet some new booktubers. I have a whole list of people that I still need to go check out now, and my watch list keeps getting longer and longer, but I'm really appreciative of getting to see so many new people. So leave comments. That's my favorite part. Today I'm going to talk to you about the books that I did read for the month, and then hopefully I will have time to show you the in the progress section of my bookshelf. So, all right. First up is A Literary Education at Adapting Charlotte Mason for the Modern Secular Homeschooler by Emily Cook. I'm going to count this for scholarship. Emily Cook is another booktuber on ARG Schooling. I love her. I love her. She's so fun. And she had some great ideas for homeschooling and just education in general on here. So yeah, I'm going to be putting this on my shelf. It was one of my last buys before I started my year of no buying. So I definitely picked this up before the week started of no buying. I wanted to have that one. This next one is No Drama Discipline by Daniel Siegel and Tina Bryson. This book blew me out of the water. I need to just continue playing it on a loop over and over until I have internalized everything in here. I'm going to have my husband pick it up because I really needed... I like us to be on the same page for this, and this challenged a lot of my own preconceptions of parenting. One of the big reminders in here was that if you don't connect, you can't instruct or redirect. And so I've been trying to take that as a challenge to step back from the situation and love on my kid before I blow up or before I try and tell them to do something differently. And it's been really good. So definitely recommend this for any parent. Yeah. Next is A Tool Go One Day's Checklist Manifesto. This I know a lot of people love. For me, I felt like I'd heard a lot of the information in other things that I've read that have referred back to this, so it wasn't as groundbreaking for me. I'm okay with that. So next is one of my favorites. This is From Here to Eternity, Caitlin Doughty. She wrote Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and she is a death historian, memoirist. She loves studying death, and so I'm going to count this for scholarship and love because it was incredible. The care and just the way she talks about people dealing with the grief process. This is around the world as well. So there were several different countries that were profiled, different death cultures, and I learned a lot. But she's funny. It's definitely some things maybe you don't want to read while you're eating. Indonesia, there are people who live with their family's mummies, like these bodies that have kind of mummified, and they bring them out, and they sometimes will sleep in bed with them. I just, not in like a creepy way, but in a just being with them kind of way. And I thought it was just so interesting. My family just watched Coco over Thanksgiving weekend, which was a great movie. So there are lots of different death things that I've been thinking about. I've had lots of friends lose loved ones in the last month, and my brother-in-law just lost his father. So they're actually in Mexico for that funeral right now. We're watching their dog. So this was just a really timely read for me. I enjoyed it so much, which sounds kind of weird, but I really did, and I highly recommend any of her books. And she has a YouTube channel too, so I think it's Ask the Mortician. This next one was a little bit of a disappointment. It's The Feminist Guide to Raising a Little Princess, How to Raise a Girl Who's Authentic, Joyful, and Fearless, even if she refuses to wear anything but a pink tutu. It's by Deborah Blechour, or Blechour. I tried to look it up and I couldn't figure it out. I was underwhelmed. It had some funny bits. She did interview girls that had kind of grown up with princess culture and moved out of it. She does, kind of dissect some Disney princess movies and what's behind that culture a little bit, but it missed the mark for me. Peggy Ornstein's Cinderella Ate My Daughter is so much better, and I wanted more of the same for this book, and it just didn't deliver. So I really recommend Peggy Ornstein's book. Next is one I just finished, and is the only fiction book that I read. It's historical fiction. It's Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. Many of you have probably heard of this one. But Burial Rites is a book about the last execution in Iceland of a woman who was charged with murder. She stayed with the family for the winter beforehand. And so it kind of talks about her being judged as this person who had nothing good about her, and then her telling her story and how that changed not only the people around her, but herself. So I loved the story arc. I loved the descriptions at the beginning, especially. Hannah Kent did a great job of describing her, especially as she comes to the farm and she just has nothing left and she's just almost like a hollow shell. I loved some of those language things. The middle part dragged on a bit for me. I buddy read this with Tina, like Tito Reads, and I think she kind of felt the same way. The end felt abrupt to me, which I guess at execution kind of, you do feel abrupt, but I don't know. For as short a book as this was, I just expected it to be different. So I'm only going to give it, I think, 3 stars, but it's probably more like a 2.75. I don't know. But I will get to clear out space on my bookshelf, so that's exciting. Next up is Make Just One Change by Dan Rothstein and Lou Santana. This is teach students to ask your own questions. I'm going to count this for scholarship or maybe substance. I don't know. But if you are in education, this is a great read. I actually stole it off my mom's shelf, she's a teacher. This talks about helping students form questions, help them prioritize them, how to whittle their questions into something stronger than they started out as, and I just really appreciated it. We've already implemented some of the ideas from here into some of our own studies at home. I think in such an age of information access, the biggest things we need to work on with our students is figuring out how to process through it, how to sift through it, how to communicate better. And this was a great little book, but so much information packed in. So I really liked it. And if you're a teacher, definitely pick it up. Next is a reread for me, and it was The Good Son by Michael Gurian. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time I've read it. I only read this section out that my boys relate to right now. It's a little bit more outdated or fundamentalist than, I don't know. I remembered it differently. I think there's some really good structural, developmental things laid out, but it wasn't as good as one of the maybe other times that I've read it. So maybe I'm just growing as a person and changing, which is totally fine. All right, and last I will show you the books that I'm in the middle of that hopefully I will definitely have done by the end of the year. First up, I am still working on a reread of Shalomistas. Book of Shalom is my Goodreads group where we talk about social justice books. So I will be putting discussion questions on there for that shortly. If you joined up, I really am excited to have you on there. We need to be a little bit more active of a group. I need to do better at that, but it's been kind of crazy. I enjoy this. It's Oshita Moore, who is a friend of mine now, and I've just loved especially the You Are Enough chapter. I've been needing to hear a lot, so I'm excited about that. Next is Quiet. I'm reading this for the love section of the challenge. It's by Susan Cain. Many of you have probably heard of this book. Everybody else has read it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I expect to, and that's exciting. It's The Power of Introverts, and it talks about personalities. I am more of an extrovert, and my husband's the introvert. But yeah, I think this has been really kind of a fun read. I like her writing style a lot. Next is one of my big books. It's Team of Rivals by Doris Kearns Goodwin. This one terrifies me a little bit, but I'm going to make it through. I am enjoying it. It's just very dense to get through. So I'm slowly chugging along. I will get there. It's about Lincoln, and I love him. So next is another one that has surprised me in very good ways, and it is Spineless by Julie Burwald. The Science of Jellyfish and the Art of Growing a Backbone. I've learned a lot. My eldest actually asked me, he's 9, and he asked me, hey mom, are you reading that Spineless book? Can you read some of it to me? I want to talk about it. So I actually read some of it to him, and it actually references a scientist who was taken by the Nazis, which then led to a very hard discussion with my child about World War II and what that all meant. I hadn't quite gotten to the details with him yet. So anyway, this book is responsible for some good conversation, whether it was about jellyfish or not. But I am learning about jellyfish, and I think they're some of the most beautiful things to watch. This last one is the book that I would recommend literally for anyone for Christmas, because I think everybody should read it. It's Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. Tactics, Routines, and Habits of Billionaires, Icons, and World-Class Performers. It is a hunker of a book. It really isn't supposed to be read cover to cover, but I can't seem to put it down. I'm loving it. I'm giving it to somebody for Christmas. I'm not going to say who because it's a secret. I don't want them to find out early. But anyway, Tools of Titans. I think this is a great, great book. I'm learning so much, and I need to just do a whole video on what I'm learning from this. So it's profiles of lots of different people, and so some of the things even go against each other, so you kind of can pick and choose like a buffet of knowledge. I feel like I'm like 90% smarter since I started reading this, and I'm only halfway through. So anyway, that is my Nonfiction November mostly reading list for the month. I'd love to know in the comments, have you read any of these? What did you really enjoy this month? And I'm sorry about the lighting. It's been in and out, but it is what it is right now. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.